know what I so said I would do this week? I so said I would do like a Ask Me Anything on Instagram, like Instagram questions, and answer that. And guess what? I so didn't do that. And I did not remember it until I sat my butt down in this chair 30 seconds ago. It's okay. We're talking about business today. And if you watch the toast, it's giving what kind of business y'all in. Hey, how y'all doing? It's been a while. So I took Easter off and I don't think I'm going to do that again. I think I need to just plan better because honestly, I just felt bad about it the whole time and shame myself into taking this time off. You know what I mean? Not time off, but like if I would have just planned better, I could have recorded a dang podcast episode. It takes me 50 minutes and then probably like 2 hours of my time to edit. But so what? You know, this is like a passion project. Why am I being lazy on my passion? Whatever. What did I do? It's been a while. So we had Easter. I don't know if y'all are religious. I am. And for Easter, what did I do? Oh my God, it was such a busy weekend. I told y'all about this, right? So Friday, Good Friday, we go to my dad's house in Vacherie, all my cousins, all that. Sorry, Zaza's like licking on a toy, so I'm trying to like get her to stay away with that because we don't need that type of ASMR. So Good Friday, went to my dad's house. We have a tradition of like every year for like the past over 10 years, we do the Good Friday, we fry all the foods. So good. I didn't eat any of the fried foods though because I was running a race the next day. And we chit chat, mingle, whatever. And like we used to do a water slide and like a slip and slide, you know? And then the slip and slide turned into let's go in the swamp because I grew up going in the swamp. So like for some reason, my dad was the one that like put out the crawfish traps and passed the crawfish traps behind my great grandparents' house. So I grew up like going to the swamp. If you are friends with me from like childhood, you know this. You were either invited to the swamp. You were either invited to the swamp or you came to the swamp. And like that was like my family's thing. Like I don't know what it was about us. We just went to the swamp, brought our friends to the swamp, and passed the crawfish traps all during crawfish season. So we started the tradition of bringing all the cousins into the swamp on Good Friday since everyone was there. So it was like, everyone bring your swimsuit or your dirty clothes and we're going in the swamp. And this has been like every Good Friday for like probably 15 years now. And we have pictures from like when we first started doing it. And there's a video somewheres in the universe of us doing the Harlem Shake. I don't know if y'all remember that. And we tried to recreate it this year, but then the younger kids that we were with didn't remember what the Harlem Shake was. So we were just like, you know what, it's whatever. We're not going to do the Harlem Shake. We're just doing a group picture. But we went into the swamp, and every year everyone is just like so shook about, I guess, just like the swamp in general. But I feel like me in particular being in the swamp because I so do not give like country bumpkin swamp vibes. But that is like just the only country thing I do. Like we weren't like land country people. We were swamp country people. Does that make sense? And when I tell you, like I used to go barefoot in the swamp. I don't do that anymore. That's a little too much for me right now. But I used to have no socks, no shoes, nothing on. Izzy, stop. And walk in the swamp. Okay? And this is like knee to hip deep waters. But everyone was like, what about alligators? What about snakes? First of all, they're scared of you. So like if there's a lot of ruckus, like they typically stay away, especially in like the quiet swamp where they live. Like they're not like in like the rivers and the lakes. I think the alligators that live or crawfish, wait, not crocodiles, alligators that live in like the lakes are more aggressive. I don't know. I don't know what it is about our swamp, but our swamp, I've never seen an alligator. I've seen snakes. You usually, sorry, I has a hiccup. You typically would walk around with a machete in case you saw a snake. You would just chop its head off. And that is just like so Cajun of me to say. But growing up, I don't have it anymore. I don't know where it is. Growing up, I actually had my own personalized machete and it had my name carved into the handle. I really need to bring that back because machetes are pretty useful, you know? But yeah, that's just a little bit of lore about me and how I grew up. And I am scared of snakes, but for some reason, when I step past that tree line into the swamp, snakes aren't scary, alligators aren't scary, none of it, except a frog. I did freak out about a frog, which is wild. So that was Good Friday. I do have a swamp vlog I'm posting this week. Swamp vlog. I videoed me and my cousins going to the swamp just to kind of give everybody an idea of like what we do there. First of all, I didn't get any of the actual like happenings that go on, like the reason we're in the swamp. I literally just got like us like farting around in the swamp, and the boys, like my brother, my cousin Aiden, and my cousin Levi, they ate past the crawfish trap. So like they were doing the work while we were just finding the nearest fallen tree to sit on and make into a playground, you know? So that was Good Friday. Saturday, the run. You guys, that was like such a long day and like physically grueling and emotionally grueling. So like wake up like 4 a.m. in Thibodaux, drive from Thibodaux to New Orleans, get to where we have to end the race. We didn't have our bibs yet, so we had to Uber to like Champion Square, find our bibs, then like stretch and like wait for the race to happen. And I was just like so anxious. Like it was terrible. And then we run the race. It was very hard. I ended up finishing in an hour and 19 minutes, which was under my hour and 30-minute goal. But my like realistic, like no, the hour and 30-minute goal was the realistic goal. The hour and 20-minute goal was like my secret goal that I wasn't telling anybody, because if I like didn't make it, how embarrassing. So I like bumped it up to an hour 30, but I ended up getting under an hour 20. So that was really exciting. But it was hard. Like everyone was like, wasn't it so fun? No. If I was walking, maybe with like a little light jog, it would have been fun. If I can like grab a beer, grab a snack, grab a water. I didn't even have the energy to lift my arm to grab the cups of water. Like that's how like weak I was. And so basically, here was my running plan. We were going back and forth on like our running plan and goal for like the whole week before, but this is what we ended up doing. So that first mile, we ran the whole thing, or jogged, I should say. I ain't running, I'm jogging. We jogged the whole thing. Second mile, we would walk 0.3 and then jog the rest. And that like worked out pretty good for the rest of the miles. I think the last mile we might have walked like 0.5 or 0.6, since we were going to like 6.2 miles. And when I tell you like my legs were coming out from under me. And let me tell you this. Do not wear a light colored legging to a race where you're sweating, where you're spray tanned, where you're bumping into things. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. So basically, let me tell you this. I got PR from Athleta in December. It was this beautiful red set. It was so buttery. It fit so beautifully. Like it was wonderful. Okay. It was wonderful. So this prompted me to say, oh my gosh, Athleta, do they have any yellow sets? Because yellow was Claire's color. And as a reminder, I ran this race in honor of my friend Claire the day before her birthday. So I said, oh my God, does Athleta have any yellow sets? They did. A pale butter yellow. Pale yellow. And so I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get this. I'm going to wear a white tank or a white shirt with the Claire's Bears design on it. And it's going to be so cute. Well, the leggings come in. They're not as high rise as I want. And they don't like slide up like into the crevices as much as the red leggings, which like that's what I liked about the red leggings, is like they weren't falling. They were like all the way up. And so I was like, okay, it's okay. I don't have time to order anything else. This is like what I have. It's got to be good. Okay? It's got to be good. So race day, I put it on. I'm feeling a little insecure because like you could literally see my cellulite through these pale yellow leggings. They don't look good on my hips. It's not ideal. But you know what? I'm running this damn race. Flash forward to a couple of days later, I get an email of marathon photo, whatever. It's like all these photographers are like stationed in the race and they take photos of you and you could search it by your face. So I'm like, I know these aren't going to be good. I didn't pose for any of them. Like, let's just see who sniped me. When I tell you guys, these photos will never see the light of day. They were so bad. The leggings were so bad. By the end of the race also, I had basically an orange stain near my nether regions from like the sweating off my spray tan. My boyfriend literally thought I started my period. Like he was like, I think you need to go to the bathroom. I was like, oh, actually that's orange spray tan. So that was embarrassing. I had to repin my bib to like cover my private areas for the after thing. And then after the race, so finish the race, literally I'm like, about to pass out. Like I need to sit down. I take my shoes off. I walk in the grass a little bit. I try to drink a water, reset a little bit, and then go to the after party, after festival of the race. That is where we had like a tent for Claire's friends and family. Two of her friends from high school set it up. Like it was so sweet. They had like banners. They had like a sign with like her picture, which was really hard to look at. And they had like a birthday cake and we did like a balloon release. And yeah, it was very sweet, but very just like emotionally it was hard. It was like, it was the celebration of Claire's birthday and she wasn't there. So it was very weird. And that's coming off of like me not getting to celebrate her birthday the year before, like, because I was with her the week before her birthday, because that's when she lived in St. Pete. And so I was in St. Pete the week before her birthday. So like I wasn't going to like fly back the next week. Like now, like I wish maybe I would have, like life's too short, go to St. Pete a second week in a row. But I didn't. So it was just very hard. And also just the fact that like the last time I saw Claire was on my birthday. So I feel like birthdays just have like just a different meaning, So that was Saturday. Came home, ate Chiba Hut. Andrew had to go to, not had to, Andrew went to one of his like fellow teachers was getting baptized and like catechized or something like that into the Catholic Church. So he went to that vigil mass. I literally had no energy to. So I stayed home and like rested and everything. I actually went to the mall and spent an unreasonable amount of money because I was upset and I was shopping my emotions away. So that was Saturday. Sunday, wake up bright and early, go to Ethel to go to church and lunch with Andrew's family, then go to Thibodaux to have a pool day at my mom's house with my siblings. So that was really fun, a lot of fun. And then leads us into Monday, which we left for Austin like early Monday morning, drove to Austin, went to dinner, did all this kind of stuff. And then the next day, Tuesday, was like our hit the ground running tour apartments. I was last minute scheduling the apartment tours, and apparently apartment tours were a hot commodity. So there was a couple apartments that we couldn't tour, and I was like really upset about. But on Tuesday, we toured mostly apartments in like the north area of Austin. And if you see my TikTok, you know what I'm talking about. And we found one we loved. It was actually one that I toured the first round too. And we went back for a second tour so that Andrew could see it. And found one we loved. It was perfect. It was a great layout. It had a good view from the bedroom. Like, it just like, it did feel a little far, but it was a mile from the Domain, which is like a hub in Austin. So I thought, I chalked it up to like, oh yeah, like it's close enough to everything. Like we won't be out of the loop. We find this cute place for dinner. It was like an old antique house, kind of like my mom's house actually. And it was a pizza place. It was in East Austin. It was in the fun little area. It was like 10 minutes from our hotel. So we were like, let's go there for dinner. And we're sitting at dinner and we're like, we kind of did like this area. Like, I don't know why we didn't look in this area at all. I guess I just thought like maybe it was a little more unsafe. I don't know. So we're like talking to our waitress and she's like, oh yeah, like I live around here. I love East Austin. Like, she was like, where have y'all been touring apartments? And I was like, oh, North Austin. We found an apartment that we like a minute from the Domain. And keep in mind, we were like signed, sealed, delivered on this apartment. Like we were basically filling out the application and like about to pay the like application fee or whatever fee that they charge when you're signing up for an apartment, and the website like crashed or didn't work or something, or it didn't like put the right room. So we were like, okay, we're gonna have to call them tomorrow and like get them to fix this, and we'll like fill out the application tomorrow. And then we went to dinner. Okay, so like it was a pause on that. It wasn't like actually signed, sealed, delivered. It was like mentally signed, sealed, delivered. So and then we go to this dinner. We're talking to the waitress. She's like, North Austin's like really far. Like if you don't have a reason to be up there, like you're gonna feel like you're far from everything. And I was like, oh my God, that was like what I was afraid of. Cause like, why am I moving to this city if I'm not going to be like around where I want to be? I want to be in the city. I want to be in the, I don't know. I can't think of a word. So I was like, oh God, like you're basically just confirming all my deepest, darkest fears. But like, let's ignore what she said. Like I have it in the back of my mind, but like, I'm not letting it ruin me and Andrew, like, deciding on this apartment and being so excited about it, like, back of my mind. Then afterwards, we go from the restaurant to, like, a little bar. It was so fun. Everyone there was, like, such our vibe. Like, it was just, like, a good little area. And they had, like, other bars around there that was, like, just so fun, funky, fresh. And I was like, I really like this area. I really like this area. Like, I think I'm an Austin East Side girly. Like it was the East Side of Austin, and it just like felt like so much more us. Like, you know how they say like keep Austin weird? Like this was like the weird area, and like that's what I want. Like that's what I am. Like I want to be able to dress funky and no one look at me sideways. You know what I mean? So I was like, So me and Andrew are sitting in the corner of this bar. They were having what do you call that? Trivia night. They were having trivia night, so we were like answering the questions like in between researching, but we were sitting in a couch in the corner of this bar finding apartments like on maps, searching like apartments near me because we wanted apartments like near this thing. And this is how we search for apartments, by the way. I feel like we have a pretty good method. So basically, you search for apartments, okay? You go on the apartment website, first look at the floor plan. See if the floor plan for you fits your budget. So like we were looking for about 2,000 to 2,500 for a 2-bedroom base rent, okay? And I know that seems expensive, but we're living in a city. You're buying city living. You're not buying cheapness. So that was our price range, and that's actually like on the lower end. Like it was on the lower end. Basically, is all I'll say. So that's our first thing. Go to the floor plan. Make sure it fits your budget. Okay. Second thing, go to the gallery. This is a personal thing. We didn't want carpets in the bedroom. First of all, see if the general building is your vibe. But most importantly, go to the pictures they have of the bedrooms. See if there's carpet in the bedroom. If there's carpet in the bedroom, exit out. She's gone. If there's not carpet in the bedroom, put it on the list. We're going to see it tomorrow. So that's basically how we did it, to where we know like we're not going to waste our time with apartment tours. Like we're only going to tour apartments that have no carpet and fit our budget and are in an area we want. So we landed on 3 apartments to tour on that Tuesday. Okay. So the first apartment we go to, it's off of Airport Boulevard, which apparently is like more of an up and coming area of the east side. And like ideally, like I didn't want to be over there, but it was a really nice apartment. And it was like an 8-minute drive to where we were at this bar that night before. So we were like, let's go look at it. It was so nice. Like one of the nicest pools I've ever seen. One of the nicest like places. It was like so nice. We were just like iffy about the area. So we were like, okay, love it. Like a great option. We could so live there. Let's go to the next one. The next one was an older apartment in the middle of everything. Like it was walkable to all of these bars we were at the night before. It was walkable to just on the street. They had a brewery, a coffee shop, a smoothie place, like a smoothie bowl place. I'm pretty sure some like salad places, like all on the street, all walkable within 2 minutes of this apartment. So like that was like, oh my God, like I want to live here. You know what I mean? We get in there, we talk to the agent and we're like, hey, we heard this place doesn't have carpet. Like, cause our server the night before said, oh, look at the Arnold. It doesn't have carpet. And we were like, okay, great. And it's such a good area. Like, how cool. He was like, oh, only our first floor units don't have carpet. The rest have carpet. And I was like, that stinks. Like, that really stinks. And they didn't have any first floor units available. They had one available for immediate move-in. And, like, if you, like, didn't move in, like, when the apartment was available for move-in, you were paying, like, more in rent, which I thought was a scam. But it wasn't. So we're like, you know what? Show us the first floor one in case it's perfect. And also show us the one with carpet. Okay? That will be available. So we go to the first floor one. It's a little dark. I'm like, I really want light. No first floor one. Let's go to the second floor one. We actually like loved the layout. Like the layout was like perfect beyond perfect. It had like a little desk nook in the living room, which would be perfect for Andrew's computers. It had a sliding door that almost made the second bedroom, like the guest bedroom and bathroom, like almost like an ensuite. Like it was really cool. Like it separated the apartment very nicely to where like if we had guests stay in that room, like they would have their privacy, which I thought was really cool. The carpets in the bedrooms weren't that bad. I mean, granted, we like went to see like the show unit, so I'm sure they keep the carpets like spick and span. It had a balcony. It had really good lighting. It was like beautiful. It did have carpet, okay? And it was expensive. And the amenities were like older. Like, I don't really care about that. I'm not like basing my decision on, sorry, I'm trying to text and podcast. So I didn't want to base my decision about the apartments on the amenities. Okay. So the apartment was great. The area was great, but like it was expensive. It was going to be like $3,200 for me and Andrew, like combined. So like separately, what is that? $1,600 a person. Like just parking was $100 per car per month. And it was like, okay, we're moving to this new city. Neither of us have like jobs secured yet. Like we just don't know if this is the smartest thing for us, but we really like the apartment and we really like the area. Like really. So we took all the information and we went to our next apartment tour. At this point, we didn't have this apartment tour planned. Like The other two I like called to see if we could come. And it was just like a little farther out, and it was also on Airport Road. So it was like, do we want to tour this one? We're kind of tired. We just toured two really good ones. Should we just decide between those two? And I wanted to go ride past this certain place in Austin that I don't want to say, but I wanted to ride past this certain place. Okay. And so on the way to that place, I'm like, it looks like we're getting close to this apartment. Let's just go stop and tour it. Okay. And we go tour this apartment. Love it. It's actually like a little more perfect than the first one we toured. It's just like a little bit like out. Like it's like a 10-minute drive to where we wanted to be in Austin. And it was really nice. We walk across the street after to get like a little lunch because like walkable to it is like this little like lunch and office retail space. And turns out this place that I wanted to go pass by was in there, and it felt just like a sign. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, that feels like a sign. So me and Andrew, after that, went to lunch. Cute little place. Like every place there is like a little hidden gem around every corner. Like that's what I find is so cool is like we went to one sandwich place and it was like a whole complex of like coffee shops and rock climbing things and restaurants, and it was just like this whole little thing and you wouldn't have even known passing by. Like it was really cool. So go to lunch, we're talking about it, we're trying to decide. I'm like, my brain is about to explode. Like, how do you make a decision on where you're gonna live when like you don't know anything, you know? And I'm like, I've never lived in an apartment, so like this is all new to me, you know? So what we do is we leave to drive back to Louisiana, and Andrew's driving, and I make an Excel document and I list the 3 apartments we toured that day, and we put a million categories. Like I could probably pull it up right now. Okay, so basically in the A column, I put location, price, gym, pool, kitchen, lighting, bedroom, bathroom, closet, balcony, sky view, common area, office spaces, minutes to downtown, minutes to east side bars, dog walkability, safety alone at night. So basically what we did for each one is basically rank them like 1, 2, or 3. And if 2 of them were even, we would go like 1, 1, 2 or whatever. And then for the price, we put the price we'd pay in rent there. And then minutes to downtown, we put the minutes. And whoever had the lowest score would win, because basically like 1 meant the best, also the price factored in there, also the minutes to downtown and the east side bars factored in there. So after our calculations, that 3rd apartment we toured won. It was the lowest number. That 1st apartment we toured got 2nd, and then obviously I think since the price, that like if we took price out, the 2nd middle apartment we toured would have won, like because it ranked high in a lot of things except carpet. But like it was just like so expensive, and I was like torn between like, okay, do we want to spend a lot of money to live here in our first year so we could be in the middle of it, or do we want to be a little more financially smart and stable, especially considering we don't have jobs, and do something that we could afford a little bit more, you know? And we chose the affordable, and I'm really happy about it. I'm really excited about it. Our official move date is June 10th. Do you understand that means like a month and 12 days till I move? You've got to be literally kidding me. So that was really fun. But I did have school last week and I missed school. So that was a little tricky. I had another reason for going to Austin. I just like don't want to talk about that. But I did miss school. So I had to come back like guns a-blazing, like projects. Because basically like not this week, but next week is like my finals week. But a lot of my professors do their like final projects or final papers this week, so they have time to grade it before the semester ends. So when I tell you, I had 2 group like papers / Excel documents for finance due yesterday, a healthcare administration paper, which ended up being like 13 pages. And then I have a 30-page case study that I have to do myself due Thursday. And I also have a group project due Wednesday. Oh, the 30-page paper is due Thursday, actually. And then this week, I have something every day. So today, I already woke up, made trucker hats that I had to finish by this week, filming the podcast, going to work. Then I have an appointment follow-up for my Botox. Then I have to meet for my group project. And then tomorrow, I have to meet with my accountant in between work and class. And then Wednesday, I have to go to New Orleans for a collab I'm doing. So it's like a really busy week, like for some reason, until Wednesday. Once Wednesday finishes, like Thursday on, I'm going to be chilling. And honestly, it's kind of looking like I am going to be, oh my God, I've been recording for almost like 30 minutes and I'm still talking about myself. But it's looking like if I don't get a job, I am going to be like unemployed with nothing to do from May 14th to June 10th. Now, granted, I'm going to use that time to like pack. We're selling a lot of our stuff. I'm selling a lot of my clothes. That all takes time. So like definitely I'll have stuff to do, but like that's crazy. Like I'll be like fully unemployed, no income. I mean like influencer money if something so happens to come across my desk, but like unemployed. That is like a little scary. But you know what I'm really excited for? We're going for like a week to my mom's house because they're going to the Grand Canyon to dog sit. And you bet your booty, me and Andrew are going to lay out by her pool every day, relax, read books, go on some bike rides. Like I am going to live the slow life. And that's like a week before we move. So it's going to be like so just like nice and relaxing, which I'm really excited about. So with all that being said, what else? I think I pretty much told y'all everything. I just wanted to go like into it so that we could all just get that out of the way, you know? So now that I've talked forever, let's get into the stories. Today, we're talking about business, okay? What kind of business y'all in, as the toast says. Hi, Emily. I've been working in marketing for a few years now, and lately I've been feeling stuck. I have this dream of starting my own social media consulting business, helping brands grow online, and I know I can make I know I can make it work if I gave it my full attention. The problem is my current job is safe, good salary, benefits, pretty stable, but it's draining me. And I feel like I've been putting my real dream on the back burner. I'm scared to give all that up when there are no guarantees that my business would take off. How do you know when it's the right time to take the leap? Should I be practical and stay put for a little while longer or just rip the Band-Aid off and bet on myself? Okay, I am in the mindset of do everything all at once and figure it out. So basically what I mean by that is I think you need to stay at your job for now and at least build up your savings, okay? Because it's scary being on your own. Trust me, I owned a small business. I didn't have savings because I was a broke college student while doing it. It was really hard. It was really hard. You know, I won't even sugarcoat it. It was very hard. There were some months I couldn't afford food. I ran up my credit card bills. It's scary because like same thing as with influencing, like small business, there's good months, there's bad months, and especially when you're a startup. Granted, social media management is like a more lucrative business. There's not a lot of return on investment in a clothing store, but potato. So I think you should keep your current job, and I'm pretty sure non-competes are like not a thing anymore, right? Unless you have a non-compete, which like obviously you can't do this, but keep your current 9-to-5 job and start taking on clients, like 1 to 2 clients, and see how that works. And if you're getting more and more traction of people wanting to sign 3-month, 6-month, a year contracts with you, that is when you have the stability to take that leap and leave your job, okay? I wouldn't do it now. I wouldn't do it out of the blue with no clients and no plan. I would start taking clients with your 9-to-5. Will it be a lot? Yes. Will it be worth it if it works out? Also, yes. Why do you think like I plan on getting a 9-to-5 job and being an influencer? Because like I would be mad at myself if I didn't try everything. You know what I mean? And if I didn't put my all into all that I was doing, you know? So quick and simple. It's quite simple. Start taking clients, keep your job, start building up your savings, and then later on, once you get like the stable client income, quit your job. YOLO. Also, just remember about like healthcare, all that stuff if like you're not married with a partner that has all those things. Because that was like a big concern, was like I was never going to have healthcare and like all that stuff. Next. Hi, Emily. Just wanted to say loving the podcast and all the advice you have given. I wanted to write in and ask for some advice when it comes to starting a business. I know you have a small business called Clementine's Crushes, and I'm curious how you got your business out there and how you were able to be creative while still benefiting from the business. I'm in a similar boat. I love making merch and have made items for all different groups, including my sorority. I love getting to be creative, but I am just not sure how to overall take the next step and move out of just making orders for small groups. Any advice at all on this topic would be fab. Thank you. It's funny, like that's the business you bring up because I've had multiple businesses and like that's not the biggest one. So Clementine's Crushes is basically started from like a need. So like I needed money and I had all this equipment and like a love for making trucker hats and shirts and different things like that. So I was like, let me just start something and like that could be like my 5th part-time job. You know what I mean? So, but fun fact, I actually started my custom t-shirt business when I was 13 years old, and I wanted to make enough money to go to LA to audition for acting agents and modeling managers. And my parents said, if you want to go, you have to pay for a lot of it yourself. And I did. And I started a t-shirt business, and I still have like a lot of that equipment to this day. And so I had that talent always. And I restarted a sweatshirt business out of my dorm freshman year. I started a hair tinsel business out of my dorm freshman year. And so it was just kind of like, what I like to do is apparently just start these random one-off businesses and do them for a year and then stop. It's a pattern. So with this, I needed money and I liked doing it. So I was like, let me fill a gap. Everyone loves trucker hats these days. Let me fill a gap of what needs to happen. So with marketing your business, you have to post on social media. You have to post on Facebook. Like, you have to post on Instagram, TikTok, all of that. That is how you're going to get a lot of your clients, because if people don't know what you're doing, how are they supposed to order and support you? First of all. Second of all, you have to think ahead a little bit. So like, let's say in January, you really hammer in on spring break group hats. That's how I've sold a ton of hats, is 20, 25 girls ordering matching hats for their spring break trip. You know what I mean? And I do group discount prices. So if you order I think it's like over 25 trucker hats, it's $15 a piece. Over 10 is like $20 a piece. And then under 10 is $25 a piece. I knew I can make these hats cheaper, because a lot of these times, like, people want to order these hats for like one-off occasions and they don't want to spend 40, 50 bucks on a trucker hat. You know what I mean? Should I be charging that? Yes, but I could still make a small profit off of charging 25, 20, 15 on these trucker hats, okay? So I think that's really important, is like finding your niche. I knew my niche was people that didn't want to spend a lot of money, that wanted a lot of times one-off trucker hats and needed them a lot of the times quickly and wanted like custom design. So I gave a little bit more of myself to like custom design these and like one-off these to fill that demand. And I did really good, and I still do really good. I just did like my last pre-order in January, I think, for hats before I moved to Austin. Maybe down the line I'll bring my stuff to Austin and like kick it back up if things go awry. But I don't want to be doing that. And I don't really have the room in my apartment to have all the equipment right now. So like, that's why I like did this one last pre-order. But like, weddings, spring break trips, just girls group trips, bachelorette trips, that's what you really want to be targeting. Because like, the one-off hats are fun and everything, and like everybody needs that, but like, you want the one orders that like could cover a lot. You know what I mean? So I would like really just focus on that and target that. And like, every person that is like a client of yours is a potential like returning client or a potential reference. You know what I mean? So I've gotten a lot of my spring break trucker hat orders from girls that have ordered a single trucker hat from me before, and is like, me and my friends want group trucker hats. Great. I've got a lot of bachelorette trips that same way. So like, that is all very important, is like keeping your customers happy. And yeah, I've also had great success with my pre-design stuff, because I would basically do them for cheaper, since I already had like the design made, and people could order like a pre-designed like summer hat or 4th of July hat or something. And it was really easy because it was cheaper for them. It was easy for me. It was a great simpatico-ness, you know? So hope that helped. But yeah, just, it's all about reaching out to people, trying with sororities, trying with like different things like that. Like, it is really fun, but it's all about the people you connect with and the networking you do, you know? Network. But congratulations, that's fun. It's a really fun business, and it's really just like fun and creative. It just gets hard when you're doing a million other things, and that's what was happening with me, you know? So last question is not a question. Well, it is a question. Whatever. Not a story, but would you ever consider reopening Marm later in the future? It's a very simple answer. No. The retail boutique business is very tough. It's not a high profit margin. You're not making a lot of money off of doing a lot of work. It is a lot of work, and the market is like so oversaturated these days. So like, for example, like, you get a clothing item that's $10, okay? You maybe sell it for $25, okay? But that $15 has to cover rent, electricity, the tag, the shipping container, like the shipping packaging if it's shipping, the hanger it goes on, the labor of steaming it, tagging it, hanging it, the waiting in the store. Like, it's all these small little costs associated, the shopping bag, the subscription to your checkout system. Like, there's just so many costs associated with a clothing store, and so many times you're left with like one odd size that nobody wants. Like, so it's just like, it's a lot. Like, to make a profit on usually a boutique sells on a set of 6. To make a profit on that item, you have to sell at least 4 of them, because 3 of them covers your costs. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's a very hard business to make money in. It's a very exhausting business. It's a very stressful business, especially with like how many boutiques are popping up these days, like, and how little people want to, let's be honest, shop small, because it's a little more expensive than Shein and Amazon and all that. Like, fast fashion has really taken over. And like, trust me, I shop that too. Like, I was never really able to be a boutique shopper. I praise all the people that can. And like, I do try to whenever I can, but it's like, it's just like a really hard business to be in. You know what I mean? If I ever opened a business again, it would be a wedding and event planning business, because I really think I would thrive with that. B, maybe I should open like an LLC or something for my influencing business and like try to get that together. Or C, I would design clothes, because you make a little bit more profit margin when you're designing the clothes, because there's not that middleman. Like, it's straight from the factory to you to the consumer. Because think about it this way, is like, a factory makes a shirt. Factory then sells that shirt to either an agency or something, or directly to a brand. I hope you can't hear us. That's snoring. Factory makes a shirt. Factory could then sell it to somebody that then would sell it to you. So there's a middleman. Sometimes there's even 2 middlemans. And you have to think of it this way, like, factory is buying from fabric suppliers, has designers, all this stuff. So they're already like doing a lot. They're selling it to somebody who's selling it to somebody, and everyone's just making money, who's then selling it to the consumer. Everyone's just making money on this one piece, when like it could go like direct to a consumer. So like, that would be my goal one day, is if I ever did do that. Like, I've always dreamed of being a fashion designer. I've always dreamed of like designing my own clothes. That was like always my goal. Like, you should have seen little Emily drawing in her little sketchbook, all kind of like different crazy outfits. But it's very expensive to start, and it's very risky, and it's very scary. And like, the clothing industry in general is not that profitable. You know, it's really hard to make money. So I just don't know if I would ever do that again. Maybe if I was in like a very, very, very stable financial place in my life, maybe I would. Not a boutique. Never a boutique again. It was so fun. It was literally my dream come true for 4 years. I would not take any of it for granted. I've cherished every moment, but like, the moments where I couldn't afford to pay rent or groceries was not fun. You know what I mean? So there's that. So yeah, so that was a lot of me talking about myself. Hope you don't mind. I love y'all so much. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy we're back. I never want to skip a week again. Now, for next week, I will try to remember to do the Ask Me Anything. And you can all ask me questions. Hopefully, you will ask questions. I also need more write-ins. I'm losing the juice here. I need tea. I need juice. I need fun, funky, fresh. Okay, well, I love you guys. I'm off to work, and then the rest of my day and the rest of my crazy week. Hopefully next week I am a lot more calm and can tell you about what a relaxing week I've had since my busy week before that. I also had my MBA gala Saturday. I forgot to mention that. Friday. I had that Friday, and I spent all day Saturday hungover on my deathbed. And pretty much Sunday. That's why my voice is a little, you know? Okay, anyways, love you guys. Bye.